Welcome to the Courage to Live podcast. My name is Josh Bitsko, and I'm a retired police captain with 24 years of experience out of Las Vegas. Currently, I travel the country and I teach people about leadership, courage, and resilience. In today's podcast, we're going to talk about one of the most important things that you can do for yourself, and that's sleep. Now, I'll tell you, I am a terrible sleeper. I have struggled sleeping for most of my life, and I think some of that is tied to I spent 17 years of my 24 on graveyard. And so I do think that shift work like that really messes up your sleep rhythm. And doing it for that long, I think just created a ton of bad habits for me when I sleep. And, but why is sleep so important? Just like nutrition, just like fitness, just like everything else, your body needs sleep. And I think when we're stressed out or working a lot or don't have a lot of time to yourself, sleep is one of the first things that go. I can tell you there's been several times in my life. I know I was on call. I've been in different tactical sections and even different call out sections as an investigator. I had one time so I worked my normal day shift, and at the end of the shift, this was when I was in K9, a barricaded subject. So that's somebody in a house that committed a felony crime that's not coming out, was in the house, not coming out, and it turned into a call out. The SWAT team came out. Me and another K9 were there, and I got stuck on that call for another 12 hours. So it was now you know, probably like 4 or 5 in the morning, and I'm driving home. Now I've been working for almost 24 hours at this point. And just as I'm pulling in my driveway, an officer involved shooting where the suspect ran from the scene with a gun comes out. My boss calls me like, "Hey, I know you've been out, but I just don't have enough dogs. Are you able to come search?" Now, what I should have said is, no, I've been up for 22 hours working. I'm definitely not in a state to go out and do that. It wouldn't be safe for me. You need to find somebody else. What I did say is, yep, I'm on my way. So then I spent the next 5 hours searching for this suspect. Another canine handler found him. He was taken into custody without incident. Now I found myself driving home, and I'm pushing like dang near 30 hours working in uniform. And I'm just like calling friends, like, "Hey, talk to me on my way home so I don't crash this car," because I was that tired. And although that's a little bit on the extreme time or side, there were several other times in my life and my career where I would forego sleep. Then there's the other times where I'm stressed out and the anxiety's getting to me, and I'm worried about work, and I'm worried about bills and all of these things, and I'm not sleeping. And then I'll tell you, on a personal note, with some of the trauma and the different things I've been through, I still struggle with nightmares. So on top of all of that, then I'll fall asleep and I'll have a nightmare where I wake up and my heart's racing, and I might wake up screaming or something like that. And then I can't go back to sleep at all. And I'll tell you that just carries over. Then the next day I'm irritable and I'm not sleeping, or I'm just not present. I'm not there. There's also been studies that show that even your mental health can be affected by one night of missed sleep. Like they show that even suicidal ideations increase with just 1 or 2 nights without sleep. So it is just so important for you. And if you work shift work or you are stressed and you let the anxiety get to you, that you're, not you're not sleeping and not taking care of yourself, it affects you almost more than anything else in your life. So there's a couple of things that you could do to prioritize sleep. The first thing is screens, right? We all have these phones that we're tied to, and I find myself just like anybody else laying in bed and scrolling through social media or checking emails or something like that, and that just does so much damage to your ability to sleep. The blue light, but also the stimulation with your brain. So the first thing you can do is limit screens, like an hour before you go to sleep. The next thing is caffeine. I am a caffeine fiend. I am addicted to, coffee. It used to be energy drinks. I'm in a better place with that now, but caffeine can have effect. For me, when I was younger, I could drink an energy drink while I was laying in bed and then go to sleep. Anymore, it really does affect me, and I'm sure it affected me then. I didn't make the healthiest choices with that. So a big thing you can do is, limit caffeine. And you then have a choice. Like you're laying in bed, you know you can't sleep. You can reach over and grab your phone, or you can reach over and grab a book. So for me, reading an actual book, not on my phone or something like that, it helps me get tired. There's also a number of apps that you can use for meditations. So a meditation for sleep. What I'll say is, like for me, I have to stay away from things like melatonin. I know some people that helps, but there's also been studies that show melatonin can affect nightmares. So if you already struggle with nightmares, then it's not a good thing for you. Or pills and all that. I'm so scared of using pills to go to sleep. So whatever it is that works for you, I mean, there's so much out there. I mean, we have the ability to now have all of human knowledge on the internet and on our phone. So you can research this and find out not just what works, but what works for you. Sleeping in a cool room, making sure it's quiet, limiting sounds, like all of these things to make sure that your sleep quality is there. Because I'll tell you, it will carry over into so many other parts of your life. It helps your fitness, it helps with muscle building, it helps with clarity, energy levels. So especially if you're in law enforcement, prioritizing that sleep because you don't want to slow down that decision making for when you need it most. Thank you for listening to the podcast. If you enjoyed it, please share it with a friend, subscribe, leave a review, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me today.